I'm going to teach you how to start selling on Amazon as a complete beginner. Amazon still represents the best opportunity to start a business in 2026, but it's a hard business to learn. And you have to learn from someone who's currently doing it, someone who understands all the changes, the nuances, and the learning curves that come with starting your own brand and selling it on Amazon. That's what I'm going to help you do. The first thing you need to do to start selling on Amazon in 2026 is find the right product. You have to choose a product that is already selling on Amazon because you can't create demand on Amazon, but you need to understand how the current sellers are getting their sales. So you have to be comfortable learning what the data means, and you have to be comfortable looking at data. Choosing the right product is going to set you up for success, and I'm going to help you do that. The best place to analyze a product that you want to sell and understand how the best sellers are getting their sales is by using a software called Data Dive. We created that Data Dive, my wife and I, because we understood what was necessary to evaluate a product. Let's say you want to start selling diaper bags on Amazon. There are a lot of different sellers, private label and major brands selling on Amazon already. And you need to understand how each of them are getting their sales and what you can do to duplicate that success. The reality is you might not be able to sell as many diaper bags as a lot of the current best sellers because they're getting a lot of their sales from branded search. They are getting traffic from off of Amazon specifically looking for those bags. But you can also potentially enter the market if you know which keywords people use to find a diaper bag. It isn't just by searching for diaper bag. They might be looking for baby bag. Plus, they might be looking for a specific style of bag. They might be looking for a book bag or a backpack. So a diaper bag backpack would be a specific search term that you would want to target. Now, there's many variations of diaper bag backpack that you need to understand what they are, what the search volume is, and how specific it is to your potential product, and what the risk would be to do that product. So the data can tell us a lot of different things, whether you should even do the product, the risk of doing that product, how the current best sellers are doing, how many units you can sell, and we walk you through that process. Now, to analyze the diaper bag niche, you're going to need to use a software like Data Dive. And I'm going to give you a free trial of it if you click into my link in the bio, because I'm going to walk you through it. So you join the Discord, you're going to get a free trial of how to use Data Dive. But the first thing you would do is you would go to Amazon and you would run a niche dive. You would want to know the best sellers of diaper bags or the specific style of diaper bag that you want to launch. And we're going to just click the button and it's going to find the best sellers across many different keywords and subcategories. Because here's the reality, Amazon is a search engine. It is not just a single platform with products. And you need to understand that not every seller that sells a product is ranked well for every keyword they should be ranked well for. That's your opportunity in a lot of cases. Now, in the case of diaper bags, most of the sellers are ranked for most of the keywords. Most of the best sellers are ranked for most of the best keywords. So it's a saturated market. I don't recommend selling diaper bags, but I'm going to continue to use it as an example for you. So the first thing you do is you're trying to understand how each of the sub-niche sellers are getting their sales. There's many different styles of diaper bags and many different accessories that go with those diaper bags. So for example, maybe you want to sell the backpack, or you might want to sell the tote. Or there's a clutch version that's much smaller that holds things. There might even be one that sits in the back of your trunk, like a trunk organizer type of diaper bag. Very niche. But once you understand how each of the best sellers of the sub-niches are getting their sales and how they fit into the overall diaper bag market, you can make a decision as to whether you can compete with any of those best sellers in those sub-niches. Now, this is where it gets fun, because now you can start to think of ways that you can beat those best sellers. And if there is a way to evaluate how much money you would need or how much capital you would need to do that product, what the risk of doing that product would be, which keywords are specific to that sub-niche, which are the general keywords that you may not be able to compete with right away, and we need to be able to evaluate that process. So once you do that, you'll be able to understand and use AI and tools like Data Dive to start building and designing a better product. So let's say you choose the tote. Right? That's the big over-the-shoulder diaper bag, not the backpack version, and you feel like you can win. Well, let's figure out how to win. So what we do within Data Dive is we analyze the top sellers of that tote and we ask the AI within DataDive to you look at the data lake that DataDive has, the reviews of those bestsellers, and tell us what are those sellers doing right, what are they doing wrong, and that's my favorite one to look at because that gives us an opportunity. But also the AI is going to look at all that and tell us potentially how to make a better product. So they might tell you that people are complaining about certain aspects, that there's a need not being met. And those are different features and elements that we can add to our potential product. Now, we need to analyze the feasibility, the cost, what it would take to improve those things. But it might be something as simple as improving the zipper, including a changing pad, or additional accessories that they often want included. That would be a very simple case. Remember, we're not going to go sell a diaper bag tote just because we're walking through this example. So don't go jump onto Amazon and decide that you're going to sell a diaper bag, because it is probably a very saturated and difficult market to enter with a lot of capital required. So just keep that in mind, but we're going to continue to use it as an example. So now we're going to ask AI, how do we make the better product? And let's say that it says they want more design elements. Most of them are just gray, black, pink. Well, what about flowers? What about cartoon characters? Something that would keep the child entertained. What about something that comes with a toy that's attached to it, right? These are some ideas that an AI might give us if we analyze the niche and it's telling us this is how you can make a unique and better product that has a differentiation. Now, in marketing and product development, you call this a USP, unique selling proposition. We need to enter this market with something very unique that would stand out. Generally, that's going to be with designs. So in the case of our tote, we're going to include different accessories that would appeal to the mothers that often need these things anyway. Something to hold the wipes, maybe it's attached to it. Something to keep the baby entertained. Better designs, more design elements, right? These are different things that we're going to try to take into consideration. Now, we're also going to look at why people buy this product and who's buying it. Not just who's using it, but who's buying it. What we're going to find with the diaper bag category is often that this is a giftable item. People are buying this for baby showers, for loved ones that are expecting mothers. And so we want to make this a giftable product. What's the best way to do that? Well, you got to put it in giftable packaging. I don't want to receive my diaper tote in a clear plastic bag, right? And present that at the baby shower and wrap that. That's not going to look good. What if I included it in a beautiful box? Well, that's one thing, but how do I show the buyer that I did that? You put the box in the package or in the main image. If you put the box in the main image, you can increase your conversion rates and your click rates significantly if you have it and your competitors don't. If your packaging is even nicer than theirs, you can win. So there are many different ways that you can differentiate. Your USP can be in many different styles and colors, shapes, sizes, accessories, but you have to understand the psychology of the buyer and the user. Well, the next step would now be to go to AI. I love to use ChatGPT. I put all the data that I got from DataDive. I have a very long prompt that I teach my students to use to generate a report from ChatGPT. I've trained my agent in ChatGPT to become a world-class marketer, a world-class Amazon seller, a world-class creator of content. Now, I've done it by telling it to go study a bunch of books, resources, websites, and it's come back and it remembers that. So when I ask it different reports and prompts, it's going to give me some great ideas that are informed decisions that a world-class consultant would teach me. Now I'm going to go into AI and I'm going to ask it, here's my data. Give me some potential designs that would win with these accessories. Also give me ideas on accessories. Give me ideas on different things I can include. Once I have that information, I'm going to say, go ahead and mock that up in the style of a main image on Amazon that would win. Now, it knows what that is because of the prompts that I gave it, the way that I educated it. You'd be surprised. I'm going to get a lifestyle image, a main image that is so good you would think it's real. And I can take that image and go test it. So the next step would be to actually test that concept, right? We have a concept straight out of AI. Sometimes it requires a little bit of touching up. Jennifer and I have many designers on staff that can easily do that. But most of the time, straight out of AI, you can go and test that concept, which is really great. Now, what does that mean, testing? Well, we have different marketing partners that have platforms where you can ask real people which one they would buy, which one they prefer, and they give you the ability to filter. In this case, I would have new moms with kids that are 0 to 3, right? 0 to 5. They've been through this process, and they've been through the pain point of having a different tote or changing bag. And what I want to know from them is, What does mine really resonate with them? Is it enough to beat the best sellers? So I'm going to take my image and I'm going to ask them, would you rather have mine or these other best sellers on Amazon? And if I don't win that poll, I'm going to ask at least 30 of them, maybe even 50. If I don't win that initial poll, I go back to the drawing board and I don't make that product. And that's a very important step that a lot of people skip, because if I'm not confident that I'm going to win with my design, I'm going to go spend a lot of money on inventory, working with factories, getting samples, and then launching that product, and it's not going to be successful most of the time. So this is where we help you skip that pain and save your money. Now you have your tested product, you've won the poll. Congratulations, you've got a design. Now we need to also go back and analyze that data, and we might find that people want the pink one, they want the black one, they want the gray one. You probably need to include the plain ones too. We've won with great packaging, we've got accessories, because what we're looking for are keywords. There might be thousands of keywords that are driving sales for that product. And many of them have descriptors in them. They're search terms. Some might say pink, some might say black, gray, right? They might have different accessories that are actually in them. And believe it or not, if we launch more accessories or more variations, all of those colors that we're finding demand for, we're going to have a higher conversion rate than our competitors. Because what ends up happening is I take my pink one, I rank it for the pink keywords, I run ads at the pink keywords, I bring in high converting traffic into the listing, and I am going to have more sales, more traffic, more profit than my competitors, a higher conversion rate than my competitors. So part of this process now is to determine which of the colors and variations and styles I'm going to launch, probably not just the one. If all of my competitors have more than one color, I can't launch with one color because they're going to have higher conversion rates than me, and I'm setting myself up for failure. So this is another part of that learning curve. So now I go to the factory, I find a factory that can do what I need to do, get samples. I'll find several factories. I'll get samples. I'll make sure that the quality is good, and I will really, really work on pricing and quality at this point. Now, within Data Dive, we have this profits tool. It is very, very detailed. It's a little tedious to fill it out because we try to take into account all the potential costs that actually you will face as a seller. The reality is it's not as simple as finding a cost at the factory and then that's your profit, minus your sales and your fees. You have shipping, you have logistics, you have storage fees, and then you'll have advertising costs. A lot of people don't take into consideration all these costs, so they think they're going to make money, and then at the end of the day, they don't make any money or they make very little money. So we need to work backwards from our potential selling price. So looking at the competitors, what they're selling for, if they're at a $39.99 price point, even though we're including more accessories, maybe we can get to 44 or 49, but we have to be reasonably within a price range because shoppers on Amazon are very price sensitive. Now, they might be brand agnostic, which gives us an opportunity. It means they don't care which brand they buy from, but they care about value. So you have to have a high perceived value with a good cost, or you're going to lose most of the time. So we need to understand what our cost is and work backwards. Once we understand what our potential advertising cost is, you have to build in probably at least 15% for your advertising cost ongoing to maintain your keyword ranks and keep pushing. You have to understand what your potential logistics and fulfillment fees are based on your competitors. You have to understand what your packaging might be, but then you'll work backwards into what your cost of goods should be at the factory. Once you get to that, you can start negotiating with your factories and let them know what your target price is. Figure out how to get to that price point. Now we got the price point. We found a factory that's willing to do everything we need them to do for the price point we need it. Now we need to get samples. Don't skip the step of samples because a lot of times you'll get the product, you'll get it into Amazon, there's going to be some issues with it. Stitching, bad zippers, the packaging, it's not as efficient as it could be. Get your final product and samples to you so you can make some last minute changes. Get an inspection done as well. So once you go to the factory or you have someone go to the factory for you, there's many companies that do that, then you're going to understand whether what you're about to ship to Amazon is exactly what you ordered, the quality and everything that comes with it. Because there are factories out there that might not be the most honest and they're going to run switcheroo on you, right? They're going to give you great samples and then what they ship is different. Don't let them do that. Know the thickness of the material, the thickness of the packaging. Understand what you're getting and all the accessories match, that they're putting it all together in the box in the most efficient way possible because we want to reduce our logistics costs. Don't skip these steps. Now, once you get all of that set up and you're happy with the factory, we move on to actually getting it over to Amazon. So congratulations, you've got your tote with your accessories. It comes with toys. It's got a diaper dispenser built into it. It's got beautiful packaging, and you are about to crush the tote industry, which is saturated, but your price point's great. You found a factory, you're ready to ship. Now, how do you ship it? This is also a big learning curve. There are many different ways you can get it over to Amazon. You can ship it yourself through LTL, so just a few pallets of them. How many you ship, you have to look at the data, how many you can potentially sell, how many you ordered. Let's pretend you had the budget. This is going to be a very expensive product to actually launch, so be careful. But let's say we could sell 2,000 units a month. Well, it takes about 30 days for the factory to make our order. It's going to take about 45 days for it to get to the port in China, get to the port in LA, get shipped into Amazon, and get checked in. Right? So we're looking at 6 weeks plus 4 weeks. We need to order, figure that that's over 2.5, let's figure 3 months. We need 3 months of inventory in our initial order. So if we can sell 2,000 units, we're going to order 2,000 units a month. We're going to order 6,000 units. That's a lot. So if this product's costing us $11, we need 6,000 units at $11. That's quite a bit of money, right? We're looking at $66,000 just for product. Now, we get some terms with our factory. We negotiated that, so we put 30% down. Maybe we put another 50% when it ships, maybe another 20% when it arrives at Amazon, so we can spread it out. But that's still a lot of money. Now we're in that logistics phase. We shipped it straight into Amazon using Amazon Global Logistics. They have a service for that. Maybe that's the most efficient way. Maybe you want to bring it to a third-party logistics warehouse, and they have a service to help you store it here onshore, and then they drip it over to Amazon for you. Either way, you're going to have to know the costs for each of these methods and calculate that so you can have the most efficient logistics possible. Now you're ready to launch onto Amazon. You spent your $66,000 on inventory. It's in Amazon's warehouse and you are ready to go live. Now you need money for marketing. You have to run ads. We have a very specific methodology at Seller Systems Academy that we teach you where we preserve what we call a honeymoon period. That means the listing was there but not active until the day your inventory is ready to hit start. Now you need money for marketing. Amazon is a pay-to-play system. You're going to have to run pay-per-click ads targeting potentially hundreds of keywords with dozens of campaigns from the first day you launch. Now the reason we do that is because Amazon now knows what you're selling. You're getting clicks and traffic and sales, and you're telling Amazon how your product is performing so they know where to rank you organically. The number one reason we run ads on Amazon is to rank organically because they have all this built-in traffic. Hundreds of millions of shoppers every single day are looking for products, and a lot of them are looking for diaper totes. Now we need to rank for those keywords. So what we're going to do is run ads targeting a lot of those keywords that are related to the keywords we want to rank for, and we are going to spend money to do that. So we need more than that $66,000 that we told you. You probably need another 50% more than that at least for your advertising cost, plus that next order. Because 2 weeks into your launch, you're going to be doing great. You're going to be ranking for hundreds of keywords on the first page. And you're going to start getting organic sales and you're still running ads and you're dialing in your ads. Now you need to put another order in with the factory very quickly because it's going better than you expected. And remember, it's going to take them 30 days to make that next order and 45 days for that inventory to get here. So you need to be thinking in advance. I need to be placing more orders. So it becomes a lot more complicated to calculate your inventory costs, your finances, and how much money is required for a product. But we help you do that at Seller Systems Academy. So we're 2 weeks into launch. Things are going awesome. Now we need to order more inventory. We've turned on a bunch of ads. Within a few days of launch, if you've executed our honeymoon launch strategy, if you have built a great listing with great content, you've got packaging, you did all your research in advance, you followed the data, people are resonating with your product, you've built your listing correctly, you wrote it correctly, now you're starting to rank for a bunch of keywords. Now your ads are performing. Some of them are doing better than others. You need to look at a lot of advanced data to determine which ads you should spend more on and which ones you should reduce. Which keywords you weren't targeting at launch that you should start targeting. And this is where our Rank Radar comes in. This is where you're going to track your daily progress of your organic ranks for each of these keywords. Now, not only that, you'll see your PPC performance, your ads performance on the same line. and you're going to see one of the most important reports that Amazon gives you, your search query performance report. Now, I might be overwhelming you with the data because we're skipping to the end of the book here, and you're just starting on Amazon, but I want to show you the learning curves that go into this. Amazon gives us a report that tells us how our product is performing at the keyword level versus our competitors, meaning what is our click share and click-through rate versus our competitors? What is our conversion rate on that keyword versus our competitors? That's important to know because that benchmark data will inform whether we should spend more or less money on that keyword and let us know whether we are spending smart money to continue to rank. We can also see when our ranks are being improved or hurt or not being impacted by our ads, so we can determine whether we should spend more or less money. This is the ongoing process of optimization that you will go through, but it's much later down the road. Let's start with designing your first product. Now, let's start from zero, right? I'm here to help you find the right product with the right risk assessment, the right budget that you can launch and design and win on Amazon. We've designed and launched over 1,000 products onto Amazon ourselves. We still do tens of millions of dollars on Amazon. And I want to help you start from zero. Don't be afraid. Let's find the right product for you. I know you have an idea inside your head. Let's see if it's the right idea, or if it's not, we'll help you find another one. There's millions of products on Amazon and tons of opportunities. If this video helped you, I want you to comment below which specific part helped you the most, but I also want you to ask any questions. I'm in these comments. I'm going to help you out, but also follow my account because I'm going to continue posting videos, and then hit the subscribe button. If you want to reach out to me personally, I'm Brandon Young, your favorite Amazon mentor. You can find me on any social media platform by searching Brandon Young Amazon or at Brandon Young, and you can join the free Discord if you want to ask me any questions. I'm always here for you.